That red flag there is belongs to the army. They have a firing range over on the other side, and it's just to warn you that there's a bit of shooting going on. This was a day last week, probably around the 15th of March, and we're just gathering up the last few ewes. These are ones that are in lamb and have singles, and so we left them out till about the middle of March, and we bring them back down now. It often looks easy enough up here, but this old terrain, it's easy for the sheep to get split up, and the important thing is to try and keep them together. You can see that lead one now is trying to run away, and she does in fact make a bit of a break for it, but I got Jim to cover her and keep her back because she'd forget about her friends and split. So now I have them back together here, but still you have to be kind of careful with them and all, and you need to rest them and only put enough pressure on them just to get them to move, and then you kind of have to back off them and give them a chance to go. So it's a bit of a balancing act. You kind of have to let them find their way and they'll pick a path, but then you also need them to pick the path that you need them to pick. Because it's easy enough to get yourself into a bit of a dead end. It actually happens here now, you'll see it. And these are little opportunities to give them a rest too and, get together. There's 1 week or so on this, and you just kind of give them time to pick their path. But in this situation, I kind of forced their hand. I send them away, they don't want to go. Even Jim questioned going that route a little bit. And so the sheep have kind of got down here now and they're sort of off track and they get into the bushes. You'll see what happens now. So while a weak dog is often a good thing on the hill, but you get into situations like this, if you don't have power, you're going to get stuck here. And if you get stuck here, well, how are you going to get the sheep out of there? So you need a dog that's good and free about walking up and he's going to just get on with business. If you've got a dog that's peeping and all styly and tiptoeing around here, well, you're not going to get sheep out of this because, or the other thing is you're going to get them split up very simple. So you can see now what Jim has to work here. Very often a weak dog, is going to pretend not to see the awkward yaw there, and then you're going to get one left behind, and if you get one left behind, well, it's going to be a mess. You'd have to just leave her there and hope that she comes out in a couple of days and try and pick her up some other way. So a weak dog is going to put a lot of work and messing on you here. Whereas, a good dog that's not afraid to walk up, not afraid to catch one by the head, or not afraid to go back and get one, he's going to put them all together and he's going to get you home. The other thing to remember is that you're training these sheep. So if you've got a weak dog and they're able to cheat him or beat him or whatever else, sheep are going to remember that the next day and they're going to screw you up here. So with Jim, they just don't get the opportunity to do that. And then that way your sheep stay good. They don't be standing up on stones looking at you and laughing at you. They get about their business and go where you want them to go instead. But if we had a weak dog now tiptoeing around and pretending not to see stuff here and not going into doing the difficult job, well, everything is going to get untidy here in 2 or 3 years' time. So we brought him down there, and while it would have been easier to let them find their own path, maybe in coming a more roundabout way, we have them all down and we have them together. At this point, I'll leave them and I'll let them wander down here, and I'm going to change my location and they'll start to head down the valley a bit, and I'll pick them up on the other side of these trees now in a minute. Plus they'll get a little bit of time away from the dog and a little bit of time to, gather up their energy again and just get a little bit rested. But I'll push them over here, and now Jim, don't forget this one. And there she goes. But I'll let them around here now and they can start to make their way down the valley, and me and Jim will get out at this point and we'll go around and meet him on the other side there. We'll give him 15 or 20 minutes or go and do something else. They're good, Jim. I think. They're good. So this is probably about 400 yards downstream there. We got out the river and got back in the Jeep and just drove down here, brought the Jeep with us, and we'll give these another little push down the valley. So here's our three friends. We pick them up again now after they had a little bit of a rest, and we'll bring them back down the valley. They'll hook up with two more here, and that'll make it a little bit easier travelling when we're in the bigger group. So I just push them on a little bit more down here, and then I'll go back and get my Jeep and drive probably half a mile down in front of them and start again, bringing them down the rest of the way. And we'll pick up more as we go. When we gather this part of the hill with the rocks and all, it usually involves crossing the river a couple of times. So it's great for getting our Jim cleaned up there. I forgot to bring the shampoo, but yeah, still he won't smell too bad after this. Good dog.